with a gentleman about this exact same subject the other night, and what he told me was so profound. And he said, Wendy, he said, you know what? Speaking on that trauma, he said, usually when a person spouts off like that, and especially with men, the trauma is that when they were young, they weren't heard. And usually they weren't heard by their mothers. So if they're going to get somebody, if they get with a woman, they're looking, without them even knowing it, they're looking for that woman to hear them. So you're constantly in a battle of, and this is when you know, because when we were talking about this, his thing was, whenever we talk, did you hear me? Did you hear me? And it's like, okay, I heard you, but communication goes back and forth. You just want to constantly be heard, but you don't want somebody to give their opinion. Don't talk to me if you don't want my opinion. But when we finally got down to the crux of the situation, he told me, he said, you know what? When I was young, I wasn't heard. My mother never heard me. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's deep. That's some deep trauma. You wouldn't think that that was trauma because there was no kind of abuse, but not being heard can be traumatic to some people. That's it.
Wendy, you just touched on something so powerful. You know what? And that's so I see parts of AJ and I can resonate. I resonate with every character, right? Because I try to see part of myself in each character, right? And so I resonate in AJ, and I understand the trauma of feeling ignored, right? So I'm an extroverted person. But something, when I came to Christ, one of the things that I felt that the Holy Spirit was talking to me about was my need for attention. I'm the firstborn, and I remember from a very young age, I learned how to just put myself second. Once the younger ones were born, they have to take precedent. They have to take precedent. They got to take precedent. They got to take precedence. And when you put everybody else first and put yourself on the back burner and just take on responsibility, you're the firstborn. Take on responsibility. Do what you got to do. You become a man of responsibility. You suddenly you don't realize until you get older that it's starting to leak, right? Because now you need attention. So now I'm like 12, 13, the fat kid, the fat kid who needs attention. What do? You become the funny guy, right? The funny guy and you're trying to get this attention from people, right? Or you try to be, and this is what I think where my thing kind of become the flirt. I'm a serial flirt. I was a serial flirt, and I'm still trying to change that a little bit. I'm trying to be better. Okay, guys. But serial flirt, right? So I learned how to run my mouth, right? So that will bring people to make them see me. So now the battle I always face is when me and the Holy Spirit are talking is, am I doing this for I love doing this, or am I doing this because part of me wants attention? Now, if you know me or want to listen, I'm very extroverted. If I'm in the gym, I'm dancing all the time, right? And sometimes when I'm dancing, I'm asking this key question. Am I dancing because you're watching me? And I know you're watching me. And I know you just pulled out your camera and you think I see you. All right? But am I dancing because you got your camera out and you're watching me? Or am I dancing because I genuinely enjoy dancing? I have to always ask myself this question. So that's why I said I see AJ. I see parts of him. And what Wendy said was so important, because when you're not seen, when you get older, you're trying to be seen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I get that with AJ. I understand that maybe, yes, not being heard has caused him now, because he thinks, and that's why I said everything goes internally with AJ. And then when he does talk, it comes all out at once. But the problem here is, sir, you can't expect a woman to come in there and be able to wade through all of that mess to find out what is the true thought that's in there. That is self-work that he has to do. I don't care if he sits in front of a chair and starts talking to that chair and let out all the feelings he's got. Right? But it has to be something that he needs to do in terms of work to get into a place where now not all the thoughts are coming all at once. Because I can't ask you about cereal, you start talking about porridge, and you go off complete tangent. Mm-hmm. Right? That is so frustrating. Imagine, see where you're dating somebody and now you're asking them, babe, we ain't paid the bill. And it's like, yeah, but you know about the bill, obviously. And then before you know it, he's talking about gym. blood, we're talking about the bill. And you know what I'm saying? Or before you know it, arguments are happening that should never be happening. And you're arguing about something completely irrelevant. We have that problem already enough as human beings, arguing about stuff that's not really about the stuff we need to be arguing about. Let alone somebody take you off course completely to another discussion that has nothing to do with the point. So I think that's what I'm saying about AJ. It's not even necessarily about you not being ready to love. AJ, just this is some self-work here. This is where self-work needs to be done, right? Because you're having problems in relationships as well. How he's dealing with women before the show, when he explained it, was off. You know what I mean? Oh, no, you want to talk in it? Go for it.
I mean...
Your mic's open, bro.
Oh, yeah, AJ's an F-boy. I mean, there's nothing else to say. I mean, you're trying to convert him... you're trying to convert him to a husband. I'm like, it ain't gonna work. I'm sorry to say it, but okay.
I mean, you was a little bit harsh on my boy there, you know.
Just keeping it 100.
Harsh on my boy.
Keeping it 100.
Just a little bit harsh on my boy there.
No,
okay.
I don't think I am.
Just a little bit.
No, I don't think I am.
Okay, Sean, do you want to jump in?
I'm scratching my head on that one. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the way he moves, but I think Kojo, you brought up a great point combined with Wendy, you know, that needing to be heard. And then if you look at the way his mom interacted with him, right? You know, you would think a mom is gonna say the best about her son, right? Put him in the best light, position him in the best light. But she did not, you know. She gave Kyra additional ammunition, right? Listen, he likes projects. Once she found out about the date, scolded him. Once she found out about that date, she was like, "You did what? I don't stand for that." She didn't. She held her frame. She looked squared, looked at him like, "Son, you failed," right? So that energy she's giving, definitely, I don't think he got a lot of coddling as a young boy from her, and probably because she was a single mom, which is what I believe he said. That's the household.
That too, yeah.
So, you know, she unfortunately, like a lot of women, had to be put in that position, right? So she was the mother and the father. So, you know, you see that play out in a lot of, you know, especially Black households where the mother feels like she's got to put on this strong frame because she's stepping into the father role. So she's tough on her boys, right? Because she doesn't want her boy to be weak. Believe he grew up in Chicago, right? So, you know, you got to be tough. You can't be weak in these streets. So he might have been the child that wanted to come home and, "Mom, I got all these creative ideas flowing through my head. I want to do this, and that." She was like, "Boy, you better go sit in that corner. You better do your homework and get ready to go to bed. It's bedtime. You're doing a lot of talking right now." And shut him down, right? So that snipped his spirit. So I got that. So that's very important, and you got to deal with those issues. Nothing wrong with therapy. I'm a huge proponent of it. You know, gets you to get through some healing, so you know you can be better, have better outcomes for yourself and the others you